Sugar Daddy Podcast, yo. Learn how to make them pockets grow. Financial freedom's where we go. Smart investments, money flow.
Hey, babe, what are we talking about today?
Well, today we're going to do another little rip and rant. First, we're going to start out with everyone seems to be focused on taxes. Everyone's always about we're paying too much taxes, we're paying too high in taxes. But in all honesty, that's really not the issue. And we're going to go deeper into that. And we're also going to talk about Trump wanting to open up 401k plans to allow cryptocurrency and how I strongly disagree with the premise behind doing that.
All right. Well, every time I look at my paycheck, it feels like the taxes are the problem. So you tell me why they're not.
Well, taxes aren't the issue. The reason being is if you look historically over the past 100 years, the various tax rates, we are historically at an all-time low when it comes to taxes.
So why does it feel like we're all broke?
Because everything costs more and we're not getting paid more. So the taxes aren't the issue. The issue is the cost of inflation for everyday goods that we need. You know, your groceries, whatever it may be on a daily basis that you're spending money on. That has increased dramatically and our incomes have not kept up with it.
Yeah, I mean, every
That's
time I
the
go
issue.
to the grocery store, I get angry because I walk out with like 2 bags and I'm like, great, I have fruit and snacks for the kids for the next week. And why did it cost $100-something?
So if you think about it, man, like back in like the 50s and 60s, you were able to raise a family of 4 on a single income with someone who has a high school level of education.
And have a car, maybe 2.
And also be able to have enough money to eventually retire.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, and during that time period, income tax rates were significantly higher than they are now.
That's true. Well, and that's also when people had, you know, mortgage rates that were 11, 12%. And
Yes.
yeah.
The problem that they want you to focus on, they want you to think it's the taxes. It is not taxes. It is income. It's salaries, how much you are getting paid at work. Employers are not paying their employees what they should. They have these large corporations that should have been increasing incomes on an annual basis to keep up with the cost of goods, and they have not been doing that. Plain and simple, corporations are becoming greedy and keeping more money and not paying employees what they should be paid. If we were to be paid what was on par in comparison to how much, you know, groceries, housing, and everything like that has increased, we would be fine.
Which is not an annual 2 or 3% cost of living increase, because the cost of living has increased more than 3%.
Think just purely off the past like 4 or 5 years, how a house has increased, housing prices have increased.
Right.
And that should show you right there, like your income hasn't gone up that much. And that's the problem. But it's easier for politicians to say it's a tax issue because then they're doing the work of the corporations and not paying you more. Mm-hmm. Everyone's all like, I barely hear anyone talk about they need to be paid more. I hear way more about taxes.
Oh, I will always feel like I need to be paid more.
But what I'm saying, like, as like in the media and everything like that,
Yeah.
everyone's talking about taxes. And I mean, obviously tariffs is an issue, but like the also biggest issue is that corporations aren't paying what they should be paying employees.
Well, I even remember when I was teaching in South Carolina, you know, you would get your 3% cost of living increase, but then health insurance would go up 6 or 7%. So like you're still losing money in the end. So even though you're getting your increase and the district is doing the right thing, the other portions that are coming out of your paycheck are increasing double, if not more. So then that cost of living increase literally does nothing. Like it feels like it's completely insignificant.
Also, the thing is too, is that you used to have a lot of benefit of being a loyal employee and sticking with one employer for your entire career. That does not exist. I can tell you right now, it's actually the opposite.
Right. You're losing money if you stay.
I'm not saying that anyone should switch jobs just to switch jobs. That's not what I'm saying, because there's a lot of other factors that go into determining whether or not it makes sense to make a move. But I can tell you strictly from a monetary standpoint, if you are not switching jobs every few years, you are missing out on drastic increases in your income. And that's just it's not an opinion. That's what the numbers show.
But that also goes back to and poorly reflects on corporations. So instead of paying their employees what they should, instead of having them leave and having high attrition and then posting that same position. I mean, you can go down hundreds of Reddit threads where people are like, oh, I left my job. I was asking for a raise. I had stellar performance reviews. And when I finally left, now they're like, oh, can you stay? Can you stay? And it's too late. And then they post that job for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 more than that person who left was making. And they probably would have stayed for $10,000 more or $20,000 more or something less, not to mention all of the cost in, hiring, recruiting, the loss of time for onboarding. I mean, you were losing huge amounts of money by not actively working to retain your talented staff.
And I mean, we've had friends who've been employed, at the same company for 10 or almost 15 years. And then they bring somebody new in that's, not nearly the experience.
Yeah.
And you're the person that's going to be training them. And then you find out that that person is making the same as you are.
Which is insane. But also, yeah, I mean, it's wrong from the corporations, but also living in the world that we live in where we have this kind of information accessible to us, like you also are responsible for either giving your employer the opportunity to say, listen, here are my contributions. Here's what I've done over time. Here's what the market indicates I should be compensated. Can you come up to this level, right? If not, I need to make a change. That kind of conversation should be had. And if they can't, meet you where you are or come up with some sort of way to compensate you further, then you should go and leave to get paid what you're worth.
Yeah.
So there is like a cost of staying also and a responsibility cost, I feel like.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's not the taxes. Like I said, if you go and look up the information, we are historically at an all-time low in the taxes, the various tax practices that we have currently. Historical all-time low. However, incomes have not kept up with the increase of how much things cost nowadays. You have these companies that are laying off thousands of employees and then turning around and using that money to do stock buybacks. This is a corporate greed issue.
And paying the C-suite, millions of dollars in bonuses.
It's not too much. It's not too much is being taken out of your paycheck for taxes. Now, we could have a conversation about I don't like what my taxes are being used for. That's a completely different conversation. But the fact that people are upset about how much comes out, you're missing the mark.
Well, yeah, and it makes sense because if what was coming out was commensurate with what things cost and it wasn't so inflated, then it wouldn't feel as bad as it does. Like you said, I mean, even growing up, my parents didn't earn a lot, but we had a house. We had 2. Once I started driving 3 cars, we went on vacation. There's no, I mean, I don't understand how people who have, a 4-member household, how are you surviving on anything less than $100,000 a year? And I mean, and the majority of the United States is doing that, obviously, but how?
It's tough.
It really feels like a slap in the face. It's awful.
Yeah.
And it's just getting worse. It's just getting worse.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to say on about that?
It's not the taxes.
It's not. All right. So, on to the next one. They are proposing allowing cryptocurrencies to be a part of your 401k plan.
Did it already go through?
Honestly, I have to double check. I was under the impression that
I thought it passed, but
well, either way, terrible idea.
Terrible
idea. And the thing is, I'm not someone who's against cryptocurrency. We have cryptocurrency, but within your 401k plan, I think it proposes a lot of issues that could arise. Number one issue is that I've always said this, you always said this, we've had conversations and we sit on this podcast millions of times. Sound financial planning and investing, 99% of it is boring.
And slow.
Slow and boring.
Mm-hmm. It's not sexy.
It's not sexy at all.
You don't talk about it at the dinner table. Ooh, what's my ETF doing? No. What's your index fund doing? No, nobody's saying that.
And that's how honestly, that's how a majority of your investing should be. And that's especially how the investing should be done within your 401k plan. The problem I see happening is that Cryptocurrencies is sexy. It's fun to talk about. So what I see happening
It
is
makes
that,
people feel important. Ooh,
yeah,
do you have
makes them feel
crypto?
smart.
Are you doing anything in crypto?
But it leads me down the path that I think, unfortunately, people are going to put way too much money into cryptocurrency rather than the standard investing that is safer and more time proven. So you're going to end up having these people that are putting all this money in cryptocurrency. You're going to have all these large fluctuations. You're not going to have the proper building of your investment over time to get to a point where you do become work optional.
Well, so we're not going to like be auto enrolled in this. Like we're still going to have to go in and choose.
No, that'd be even crazier.
Well,
so like normally,
would you put it past anybody this?
Normally the auto enrollment, the only thing that you're normally auto enrolled in when you have your 401k plan is a targeted fund. And a targeted fund is simply a fund that holds various investments, and it's based upon your approximate year that you would retire.
And it usually puts in like 65.
What do you mean? It puts in 65.
Like as the target date. I mean, I know you can adjust it, but I feel like it
yes.
auto.
Okay. Sorry,
yes.
The age.
Yes, the age.
The age, as far as would you retire, yes. And what it is that it starts out more aggressive when you're further away from that target date of retiring. And as you get closer and closer to retirement, it gradually automatically changes over time from being more aggressive to being more conservative because you're getting closer to the time period when you would actually be using the money. Mm-hmm. That's what they normally would auto enroll you in. So hopefully it wouldn't be cryptocurrency. But like, it's just, I always say there's an order of operations. Like I'm not against cryptocurrency, I said before, but you need to have a lot of other things in place, I think, prior to taking a dive into cryptocurrency. You do need to be doing the vanilla, plain old boring investing within your 401k plan. You do need to make sure you have your emergency fund. You need to make sure that you're not, you don't have credit card debt and stuff of that nature. So you do need to address these other things. And I think putting cryptocurrency in your 401k plan is bypassing all those other sound steps that you need to take prior to it.
Okay, what would you say to the people who are like, nah, I want the cryptocurrency? Would you say?
Honestly, I would say do what you want to do, but then don't cry and whine when it doesn't work out.
Okay, what about
like
do you think that we'll be able to do like a percentage? Like, 5% of my contribution goes to a crypto bucket.
Yeah, I think you would. Yes, you would definitely be able to break it down like that more than likely.
So maybe doing something like that is reasonable. What would you say?
But what I'm saying is that I'm talking about the potential hazards that are being opened up that could be avoided. Mm-hmm. Because like you should be the way that a 401k plan works now, you should be investing in the more traditional ways of investing within your 401k plan. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to do the alternative investments or the more speculative investments, take the time to understand them and open up an account somewhere else to do those.
Okay.
Because like it's not as if like if we don't have access to cryptocurrency in your 401k plan, it's not like you don't have access to cryptocurrency.
Right,
There's
right.
a million other ways to do it. I just don't think it needs to be there.
Okay.
Because the purpose of that, granted, we can have another conversation where 401k plans was the way of getting rid of pensions and making individuals responsible for their own retirement planning. Mm-hmm. That's what it came about. But this is just making it even more of an easy outlet for people to F it up.
Yeah.
Because people already mess up enough stuff on their own. And now you're just making it easier for them to mess up more stuff. Now, granted, I also think that obviously he's doing this because Trump has his own investments in cryptocurrency companies. So I don't think it's, I want to help people grow their money through cryptocurrency. It's like, no, I want the stock value of my investments in crypto companies to shoot up. Mm-hmm. You really have to think about, hey, what is the purpose behind this? It's not to help you. Because you already have access to cryptocurrency everywhere else.
Right.
This is for his friends that have those companies to help increase their stock value. Pure and simple. That's it.
Okay. So you're saying 0 out of 5 stars. Do not recommend.
No.
Don't go down that rabbit hole.
Not in your 401k plan. No.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure people saw that announcement and were just like salivating at the mouth.
I have no doubts because majority of people aren't sound financially. They also don't have the certain level of financial literacy. Like, that's just the reality. It's not me trying to come down on people.
Yeah.
But that's why.
I'm personally always super happy when I log into my Fidelity account and I look at my 401k and I'm like, whew, okay, I'm glad I have that because I don't think about it often. It's very boring. I know we set up my new one to make sure that it's optimized. We did not do the target date fund because it wasn't aggressive enough, right, for where we want to be. And so, yeah, I mean, why take the uncertainty out when we have time proven, nice, boring ETF index fund investing?
Also think about this. I would say a majority of people don't understand their 401k plan as it is currently structured.
Well, we have a whole episode about the 401k
but majority
specifically.
People don't understand their entire 401k plan, all the different options, and the features of their 401k plan. They don't understand it as it is now.
Right.
So now adding a speculative investment to the lineup, it's just going to add to the level of complexity that people don't understand. Like, even unfortunately, a majority of people that are invested in cryptocurrency don't understand it.
Right.
Like, currently. So now you're just going to add to that. And that's going to put more stress. And think about it now, like, currently with Social Security, the issues there, that is it going to be around when we need it? Who knows? No. So now you need to actually take even more onus to make sure that you are doing what you need to do in order to become work optional and retire one day. And this is not going to help that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's risky, right? So whenever you're investing in something that is risky, has not stood the test of time, you shouldn't be putting your eggs in that basket because you could be losing those eggs.
And like I said, I am not against cryptocurrency. For anyone out there that's listening to this and thinking, oh, he's just a hater on crypto. No, I've been in it for years. I also did a lot of research and understand it.
Well, but it's also, I mean, think about, being an angel investor, right? Or like investing in startups. I mean, it's great. And like being an angel investor is amazing if you can do that, but like it comes with a risk.
Yeah,
it could pop off and you could be like, yes, this was amazing. Or it could be like, oof, I lost my money. And I mean, we've recorded episodes about that. Like if you are going to miss that money, if you lose it, you don't need to be investing that way.
Yeah, once you're investing in speculative investments, which means that it has a high probability of you losing all your money, you need to be investing money that you're not going to miss.
Right.
It means
I personally would miss all of my money.
So like, for example, if you've done everything else, if you have everything else in order, 5% or less going into speculative investments like cryptocurrency is fine, because mathematically, if it went to zero, as long as you have 95% of your other portfolio where it should be, you'll be fine. But you could, that 5% could, exponentially make a big difference in having a lot more growth. But at the end of the day, if you lost it, you're still fine. Whereas I think most people, honestly, are currently investing money that they would not be happy if they lost. They would miss it, and they would probably alter how they're able to live their day-to-day life. And then now just add to that when you're talking about a 401k plan where you are just now possibly losing money that it's going to completely alter when and if
you can retire.
Correct.
Oof. Yeah, I'm not playing around with my retirement because I want to retire as soon as possible.
Doesn't need to be done there. That's my point. It doesn't need to be done there. Order of operations. Stop. Like, sometimes you got to put up guardrails to help people to lead them down the right path. And this is taking down those guardrails. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think
for the sake of Trump putting money in his pocket.
I was going to say, but think about where the source is. Exactly. So, yeah. Any other rip and rant today, hun?
No, I think that's enough.
That's enough for today? Okay. All right. Well, you heard it here first. Taxes are not the problem, and maybe don't go down the crypto 401k rabbit hole and just stick with the plain, boring, time-tested investment, especially when it comes to your 401k and your future retirement, because your future self will likely thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Sugar Daddy Podcast, yo. Learn how to make them pockets grow. Financial freedom's where we go. Smart investments, money.